Hello! It feels like it's been forever. It has been forever. The last time we cast, well, it was about a week ago, but still, we were just getting ready for the start of the Summit 3, and that's already done and over with. We've already crowned a champion there, but we still have to wait to find out who's going to be the team to take the Dota 2 Canada Cup, as we're casting the Losers Bracket Finals here tonight. It's going to be a best of 3 between Boreal eSports and Wheel Wreck While Whistling. The winner of this will go on to play the North American Rejects in our grand finals, which will be on Thursday, tentatively, but it will be it's set for Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be a best of 5. So we're going to have well, a lot of Dota or only just a little bit of Dota, depends on how you look at it, to close out the rest of this this tournament. But hopefully it should make for some pretty good games. Once again, I am Niz. Welcome to NizCast. If you're new here, I don't think we got anyone new here at the moment, but welcome. We are casting the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and if you want to find out more about that, go to dota2.ca. There's also an official stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Dota2 Canada Cup, where you can watch, well, basically everything I'm going to show you here tonight, just maybe with a little bit better production value. But we're working on that. But what do we got right now? We've got $11,898 prize pool. And well, loser of this is going to finish third, and of course, like I said, the winner of this is going to go on for that shot at first place, going up against the North American Rejects. So that's obviously going to take a big chunk out of that prize pool. I'm not sure what the actual breakdown is of the payout of the prize pool, but obviously, first is going to get a significant chunk of that. The prize pool has increased from $10,000 all the way up to that $11,898 from well, ticket sales, which is pretty awesome, but still like to see that hit 12,000. So hopefully we'll get there. $102 away, but yeah, that's something we can hopefully look forward to. But I already see I see a prediction in chat. Dota Tom says Wheel got this 2-0. Well, Dota 2 Lounge has your back as well. They've said 72% in favor of Wheel. Gosu Gamers said 65% in favor of Wheel. I think going into this, Wheel's going to be the favorites. They were the runners-up last season, and now they're trying to get there. They're trying to get to that spot where they could either repeat or do one better. But they do have to go through Boreal first. A little other thing that maybe Boreal might be struggling a little bit with is, well, first of all, they didn't get invited to the International 5 qualifiers, and so they had to play their way through the Open qualifiers, and they didn't make it. So that's not good. And frankly, another team that we saw in this tournament, Summer's Rift, are defending champions for the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 4. They didn't make it either. So they went out in the semifinals, and it was Team Unknown out of Peru that is going to be joining the other teams like Wheel and North American Rejects in that list of teams for the Americas qualifiers. So maybe Boreal a little down and out after that, or maybe not. Maybe they're just setting themselves up to prove themselves here once again, because obviously they didn't really have the best showing that they wanted in the qualifiers or the Open qualifiers to get into the qualifiers. But well, they'll try to redeem themselves here. They are playing with one standing. Kokoni is going to be standing in for Angry Testy. It'll be interesting to see if Boreal still chooses to pick up the Phantom Lancer. They really like playing the Phantom Lancer, but that's also one of the heroes that Angry Testy really likes to play. But before we get into that too much, let's actually jump into the draft and figure out what the heck's going on, because I've been rambling on for way too long here. As we had Boreal eSports banning out the Wisp and the Undying. No Undying, that's great. A hero. If you've played pubs recently, oh my goodness. That hero. You feel dirty for having him on your team, and you hate playing against him because your safe lane's always feeding him or whatever, and he's snowballing out of control. But we're not going to see him this game, so Boreal's going to remove him from the pool. And Queen of Pain and Clockwork were removed by Wheel. Shadow Fiend and Earthshaker were the picks for Boreal, and Gyrocopter and Lion were the pick for Wheel. Gyro, a hero that came out of nowhere. And now we're seeing him get picked up extremely early in the draft right now. Really high value. Or teams are putting a really high value on him as a pick. He did get a little bit of a nerf in one of the 6.84 tweaks that came out. I think it was 6.84D. Maybe it was C or D. I don't remember which one's which. But either way, they nerfed his first ability, the Rocket Barrage. So it does a little bit less damage early on. It used to do... so now it's 8, 13, 18, 23. It still does 23 at max rank, but I believe it used to start at 11 and scale up to 23, and now it starts at 8 and scales to 23. So a little bit weaker earlier on, but still reaching the same damage. So he lost a little bit of his early game potential, but no big deal. As for our next band, Spirit Breaker and Leshrac banned out by Boreal, and then Lena and Huskar banned out by Wheel. The picks: Witch Doctor for Boreal, Darkseer for Wheel. And now we're almost caught up as Boreal just picked up the Weaver, and now we are actually caught up. So interesting that the Weaver's getting picked up here. At first glance, we think Shadow Fiend mid, Earthshaker, Witch Doctor, Weaver, safe lane, waiting for an off laner. There is the off chance that maybe you park that Weaver in the off lane. I'm not too sure about that, but we'll see. We'll see what Boreal chooses to do with it. I'm not a big fan of a Weaver carry either. So, I don't know. We'll see. Gyro, Lion, and Darkseer. Well, Darkseer is going to be in the off lane. Gyro is going to be your safe lane farmer most likely. Can be run as support, but we're not really seeing much of that recently. It's been either carry or off lane. And I was playing Gyrocopter in the off lane 6.83 and having fun in pubs. And I got to tell you, it's pretty damn strong. Even with that nerf to his battery assault, it's still going to be pretty damn strong. Or rocket barrage, sorry. 5 seconds remaining. But I think we'll probably see him farming up in the safe lane here with Lion supporting him. And now we've got a Dragon Knight that's probably going to be in the mid lane as well. So that means Boreal probably looking for an offlaner. Wheel going to be looking for a support. And Boreal's going to ban out one of those supports. It's going to be the Skywrath Mage that's going to get removed. Which leaves... Well, actually, it leaves a lot of supports. Vengeful Spirit, obviously, one of those heroes that's always great to have. But we have seen her kind of fall out of favor a little bit. Visage is one of those heroes that's really grown in popularity. We haven't seen him touched in this draft. Is it something that they're going to be going after? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the reason I say no is because you've got Gyro. He's going to be your safe lane farmer. He's going to want to be farming. Dragon Knight needs to be able to farm to keep his farm going. And then your position 3 is your Darkseer, who's a hero that farms quite a bit as well. He takes a lot of farm off the map. And if you had something that was going to be a lot more mobile as an offlaner, something that's going to go around killing and try to get gold through that and not really stopping and farming constantly, then maybe you have the potential to run something like a Visage. Because Visage is a position 4, but he leans a lot closer to position 3. And in fact, when we see Owie, for example, Owie 2000 play him, most of his teams essentially slide him from the 4 role to the 3 role when he's playing that Visage. So obviously you can't really do that when you've got a Darkseer. Phoenix was the ban by Wheel, and Boreal picking up the Enchantress. Huh. So, off-lane Weaver, safe lane farming Enchantress. Interesting. Enchantress is actually... Huh. I don't know how I feel about this.
10 seconds remaining.
What they could do with this is you can hard push against a Darkseer offlaner. I'll explain that in a second. Omni Knight is going to be the pick for a Wheel, so that's the support they go with. Good point. Dota Tom says it could be an offlane Earthshaker. There's a chance of that. But what I just realized is that they could effectively, because they're going up against a Darkseer, they could just hard push the lane, and Darkseer can't stop it. He goes to Ion Shell one of his own creeps, Enchantress disenchants it and walks it away. So they could just hard push down the tower. What's the value in that? You get a little bit of early gold going on, but then it's really difficult for your safe laner to farm. But if it's a Weaver, maybe you slide your Weaver from the off lane to the safe lane, and then he can farm up further in that lane and shift everyone over to mid. Except for, I don't know. Maybe then you put your Earthshaker off lane. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. But there is possibilities for that, as we're fortunately waiting for some players to select their heroes here. So unfortunately we had Kikoni's internet go out there. So hopefully he'll be back in a second, and or shortly, and we'll be able to hop on into this. But I want to think a little bit more about that Enchantress thing. That's actually really interesting. Is there any way that Wheel would be able to address that? I don't think so. Darkseer would be incredibly weak. He wouldn't be able to contest them. They have an Omni Knight, so it's not like they can move him up there to help. They'd have to move the Lion up, which would leave the Gyro and the Omni bottom, which isn't going to be able to do anything to maybe an offlane Weaver. It would certainly create an interesting situation. Huh. Can even read too much into who's playing what, because that can always change, especially when a team's playing with a stand-in. They're not playing with their usual carry, although we haven't seen the one of the core heroes, the carry, get picked up by any of these players to know if it's just going to be Kikoni or whatever playing it. But it certainly would that would create an interesting situation. So unfortunately, they're still just trying to sort this out with the disconnect here. Unfortunately, it looks like the internet is still out and he's trying to get back on. I wonder if maybe what they'll actually do is just remake this as an AP and bring a new player in. And Sleazel's now gonna probably disconnect and reconnect here. But we look at Wheel. What has Wheel got going for them? We got the Darkseer in the off lane, the Gyro, Lion, and Dragon, and Omni Knight. Not the strongest lane, but certainly not the weakest either. If Lion's able to catch someone out, Gyro can dish out a lot of damage really quick. Omni Knight can also deal that burst damage with his heal, doing that pure damage going right through any kind of magic resistance or natural magic resistance. Dragon Knight going to be quite tanky. However, I think Boreal has enough damage to go through it. Of course, Shadow Fiend's minus armor is going to do great against Dragon Knight, helping both himself and Weaver do damage. Enchantress as well with her impetus. It does pure damage, so it doesn't really have to worry about that. I don't know. I don't know which side are favor here. I feel like maybe the Omni Knight could be the real decider. I don't know, maybe Boreal with the Weaver and the Enchantress. We're not still, because we're not sure what they've got planned with that it could create some interesting situations, but one of the things I'm thinking about is, are there any diffusal carriers on Boreal? And no, not really. And the reason I say diffusal, because diffusal against Omni Knight, incredible. And Dota Tom's saying it in the chat as well as I say it. But the reason I say diffusal is it's great against Omni Knight, because you want to be able to purge off either Repel or Guardian Angel. Typically Guardian Angel. The ultimate coming out from the Omni Knight, and of course Diffusal can purge those. But there's no real natural Diffusal carrier. Because even though Diffusal's not an orb anymore, it won't work with Geminate, I believe. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but because typically orb effects don't apply on the second attack from Geminate. Like Desolator, for example, it doesn't apply on the second attack from Geminate. However, because it's a kind of lasting debuff, it's still there for the second hit. That's why I see Weavers do pick it up. And just in general, minus armor is strong on Weaver because of the fact that, well, you're going to hit twice. Unfortunately, this is a little bit of a an uneventful start, or I guess it's not uneventful, but a little bit of a slow start to tonight's cast. But we'll get there. We'll get there. They're going to be looking for a stand-in here, so they will have someone to play. Of course, you'd wish that these two teams are able to play kind of even without having any stand-ins, but unfortunately it's not going to be the case for Boreal. And now we may have everyone disconnect and remake with the stand-in, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it to music in the meantime, and I'll rejoin when the game's back up. At least we know the draft, so we won't have to go through that, and we'll be able to jump right back in it. And yeah, I'll be back in a bit.